I'm your host, JV Torres, and I'm joined by a very special guest. Alvin, thank you for joining me on this show.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Now, I invited Alvin to come on the show because he's got some really unique. He's an actor and a director, and we're going to talk a lot about his upcoming movie. His movie that's out now on Amazon. We're going to talk about that. But before we get into any of that, Alvin, did you know that I published a book?
I had no idea.
So I got this book here, Alvin, and next time I see you, which I'm gonna see you soon because we got another movie project coming up, I'll make sure you get a copy of the Ouroboros, and
Yes.
hopefully you can just put that in your pile of books that you have. Maybe flump through it one time and take a look at it and see what the kind of crazy stuff I come up with. There's been people buying it already, and it's pretty cool. It's a good feeling, and I know you're having that good feeling right now, Alvin, because you got a movie that just got some media press coverage, and that must feel awesome, right?
Yeah, it definitely took me by surprise because it wasn't supposed to do everything that it did. So it took me by surprise for sure.
That's usually the best kind, man. It's the best kind. So the name of the movie is called "The Nurse That Saw the Baby on the Highway." Didn't it just happen not too long ago, and already there's a movie?
Yeah.
That's the media's angle. It's like it just happened. What was it that happened, Alvin?
Oh, well, it was a situation a couple of months back where this all really happened with another person. And I decided to do a parody about it. A couple of months back, you can look it up. A nursing student saw a claim. Long story short, they faked their kidnapping by accusing a baby being on the side of the highway. So as this was unfolding, I found it like a very interesting story. And while the story was being unfolded, in my head as a director, I saw it as a scary movie in a sense. And I said, you know what, this is pretty creepy. And then I saw the comic relief behind it as well. And I said, you know what, this would be a good parody also. So I just took it and ran with it, man, because the visions that I kept seeing throughout social media and the news, I kept picturing all these different things. And, as an artist, I just said, I have to get this out some way, somehow. And it just made the perfect parody for me to be able to do this story based off of fake and true events.
So I'm no stranger to the 24-hour movie festivals.
Yeah.
Did it feel like that? Like, did you feel like you were under a time constraint?
It would be a thing where we would wake up in the morning and just check the news to see what happened overnight. And whatever happened that day, I would say, okay, well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to just take the facts of what happened and put a little spin on it, and we're going to shoot it. So we were actively shooting as the events were unfolding. And that's how we ran with this whole thing, which was pretty cool. It felt like a 48-hour film festival with no script.
I gotta admit that you didn't need to because the script was being written for you on TV, right? On the news site.
Live. It's like it was almost like a
So,
documentary.
but even in spite of all that, you still had to. Because listen, anybody out there who's made a film knows it takes a lot of work to put something together, even for the 48-hour festivals.
Oh yeah. But my background has been filmed for quite some time now. So the challenge to me was not the filming part of it per se. The challenge, I guess, was more so just wrangling up the actors to be able to be available at the time that we were shooting, because we were shooting like now. So it's like, hey, I need people that are free in the next 35 minutes to an hour to be able to shoot these scenes.
Was that difficult? Was that difficult to get people?
It was easier than I thought it would be, and thanks to the DMV actors and everything being available. I thought it was going to be a little bit more challenging than it was, but it wasn't. So I was able to just say, hey, I'm looking for a man in a blue suit. Anyone has a blue suit with glasses, let me know. And people would just come out and say, hey, I'm available. So it was great for that. And then it also helped that the lead actress was my wife. So, hey, I wrote, so, hey, let's wake up in the morning. Now, it was one time, though, where me and my wife weren't getting along. And I said, you know what? Just forget this whole production. I don't want to do it no more, because we were arguing about something else. So the benefits of working with your spouse had its ups and downs. At one moment, the whole production was done.
Yeah. Wow. And you guys have a little baby. You just had a baby recently, right? Wow.
Yes,
man.
the baby.
That must have been something, juggling family.
Mm-hmm. The baby was in the movie throughout the whole movie. And
so was the baby the baby in the story? Like,
Yep,
oh,
baby was
Jesus.
baby in the story. Yeah,
That's clever, man. That's awesome.
yeah. So
Genius.
we had the baby, and every shot of that movie, the baby was no more than 2 feet away from us. The whole movie, because it was a newborn, so we had to have it everywhere we went. It was right there. Well, not it. He was right there.
Wow. So, Alvin, what's the reception been like? I know that you got some media coverage. I know you got people calling you up. What's the vibe?
It's getting good feedback. It's a weird. Is my phone breaking up at all? Before I start rambling. Okay,
I
so
hear you.
it's just
I hear you fine.
okay. So it's weird how I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but the movie is being criticized as being a really bad movie, right?
Really?
But that was the whole point of the movie, to be a really bad story.
What's
So I don't know if I successfully failed or did I just fail completely. It's like going to the restaurant Dick's and it's like, okay, they were supposed to be jerks towards me. So do I give them a good grade for being bad or do I give them a bad grade for being bad? I don't know. So this film is doing what it's supposed to do. It's making people angry. They're like, oh my God, this is such a horrible movie. I can't stop watching it. The movie is just trash. I'm like, perfect. This is what the movie was supposed to be. But now I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. I'm not a bad filmmaker. This whole story was just bad in the beginning. It was just a bad story. I don't know how the audience is taking it. I don't know if they're taking it serious. Now, if they're taking it serious, I could see why they give me a 1 star. If they take it as a parody, then I should give 5 stars. But I think the audience is taking it more as a serious thing. And it's like, no, this whole thing is just...
All right. So, Alvin, I want to really share a clip of this film with the audience. So, why don't you walk me through what we're about to watch, this clip that we're about to see?
Yeah, this scene is the infamous scene that we all know about or heard about, where the protagonist is just talking about the events that happened that night, the events that happened when she talks about how she saw the baby on the highway and got kidnapped. The infamous kidnapping scene. That's what this is.
All right, so let's take a second and watch this, and then we'll meet you on the other side.
Yeah.
I'll unleash this bitch on you. You're fucking done. Get the fuck up.
The next thing I can remember was being in an 18-wheeler.
Okay. Did you get a good look at the driver or who else was in the 18-wheeler?
All I remember was just being able to escape the 18-wheeler.
How did you escape?
I don't remember. I could feel that she was playing in my hair. I don't remember too much. Then I was fed cheese crackers. Jesus.
No, Jesus.
Blindfolded.
Blindfolded, naked, fed Jesus.
By a lady.
Don't let you go. No, Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
Now, before you say anything else, I want you to think very carefully about the situation. You see, there were millions of people that prayed, tried to figure out what was going on, how they could help. And I come here, or more like I was sent here, to try and hear you out, to try and hear your story. But nothing in your story is adding up. You managed to escape, but you were blindfolded. You ran, but you didn't see where you were going. You were captured, then you were put in a car, but you escaped somehow out of a moving 18-wheeler.
All right. So, Alvin, that was very... I mean, this obviously is the crux of the story, right? And I just wanted to ask you about the filming part of it, just the logistical part of it. How many takes was it to get the scene right or get the scene done?
Oh man, it wasn't that much. Just because of my shooting style, and I wanted to keep this true to documentary form as possible. So I didn't do a lot of takes with this. It was pretty much you see what you get, raw, the emotion. I'm like, hey, listen, this is the situation. This is what transpired. Let me just capture it organically. So we probably shot it maybe 2 or 3 times, at most 3 times. And that was it. We were on to the next. Didn't play around a lot with nothing to give it that organic, raw documentary feel. And I didn't want it to seem too cinematic because, again, I didn't want people to get lost in the cinematography for the film as opposed to just the overall parody of this being a joke. So that's why it didn't take as much time.
And for those of you watching who are interested in, and clearly you are interested in watching this film, it is on Amazon. It's on Amazon, right?
Yep.
You can rent it for $1.99, or you can purchase it for $4.99. So the links to the film will be in the description. Please check that out. It's going to be worth your time. Love it or hate it, it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, for sure.
Excellent. Well, I certainly wish you the most success that you could possibly get with this. It certainly got you on the local maps. It looks like it's getting you around the maps in the country.
Oh,
I think there was other periodic. I've noticed the media from around the country was picking the story up. That's
yeah, man.
That's incredible.
People from Africa were talking about the film. Britain was talking about like what? The Guardian, the global news station, reached out to me and did an article. So it's been all over the place. It's been doing pretty well. Yeah.
That is fantastic, Alvin. I wish you the best of that. It couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Let me tell you, you're a fantastic person.
Thank you.
The name of the film, The Nurse That Saw the Baby on the Highway. Alvin, thank you so much for being a part of the show. Hopefully you'll stick, we'll come back and see you again for that sequel.
Yeah, for the sequel, I'll be here.
Love to have you on again, bro.
You'll have the exclusive rights. The next time I'll have the actual nurse who saw the baby on the highway with me. So you can interview her as well.
You heard it here first on Curiosity. I'm curious what everyone thinks. If you have a comment for Alvin, you can DM me, or you can drop a comment in the box below. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Share this video with others, especially if you're into film. If you're on Facebook, please hit that like button. Share on X. Follow me back. And you're on X too, right, Alvin?
I am. I haven't used it yet, but I have it.
I think you better now, because you're becoming a celebrity, so you need to have that X.
Yeah,
X marks the spot.
X is Twitter, right?
X is Twitter.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I can't keep up with all this madness. Okay.
Excellent, man. I'm so glad you're here. Until next time, everyone. God bless.
New Kingdom Radio Theater.